You are listening to the Hodges Huddle, where we discuss all things in the wide world of sports. Here is your LSU sports team.
Welcome into the Hodges Huddle. I am your host, Michael Poggi, alongside my wonderful co-workers, as always, Jayden Smith, and don't forget the Rook, Alex Sheesly. Not to mention the GOAT, William Gilreath, doing the switcher production side of things, helping it out, producing our fourth podcast of the semester. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Keeping count, man.
Oh man, I'm keeping count. I'm on it. You know, I'm on it this week. Y'all, how we doing, man? Fine Monday, even though it might not be fine. It's not going to be a great, fun podcast.
It's depressing,
but, you know,
I feel like.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing, man?
Your Monday gets a lot more depressing. Like, I feel like the entire week, like, if LSU loses, especially against an Ole Miss type team, just bad times.
Hey, it's all right. How you doing, big
could
dog?
be better. You know, every time LSU loses, you can kind of feel the difference in energy on campus. But like I told Will on the Sunday show, man, look, it's just sports, man. None of this really matters anyway. So
the sun is going to rise again.
Yeah.
Exactly. But with that being said, we have a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about in this podcast. Obviously, LSU lost their first game of the season to undefeated Ole Miss, 24-19 on the road in Oxford. And also MLB Playoffs starting tomorrow, which is Tuesday, but y'all will be watching it. Will be Tuesday. So, you know, we got a lot to talk about. So let's start off with LSU and what went wrong on Saturday. Obviously, defense did its job, in my opinion, for most of the game, holding Ole Miss to 24 points and causing 2 turnovers with a fumble and an interception, winning that turnover battle. But it just wasn't enough. Offense couldn't find its rhythm, and, you know, there was no moving ball in the run game. Throws weren't there, miscues all over the place, so a lot went wrong. But first things first, what did you guys see that just, you know, like I said, went completely wrong for this LSU offense?
I think the better question is, what didn't I see?
Yeah, I was about to say.
that went wrong. Look, man, take your pick. You can point to the run game. You can point to coaching. You can point to quarterback play. You can point to schemes. Like, I mean, I guess the thing that stood out the most to me is, and you brought this to my attention, we've totaled 59 rushing yards against the 131st ranked rushing defense in the country. Like, we can't even attack a weakness in the other team.
And
man.
it's not even that we can't do it. You chose not to do it for the first 3 quarters. They just chose to not run the football. But yeah, I'll go in front of you. Yeah. I just think that, you know, like I said, no rhythm. And I talked about it on the tailgate show. When you can't run the ball against a team who struggles defending the run, and they're rushing 3 the entire game and dropping 8 back. And 1, you're choosing not to run the ball, and 2, when you do, it
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. There's just a lot to be like, okay, what's going on? So that's kind of my biggest thing. We're going to talk more about the run game in just a second, but I think my biggest thing is just not fighting your ground, man. You're not, it's been like this all season, minus the 1 game against Southeastern. And
that game does not
count.
Yeah,
it's
it
an
doesn't
FCS
count.
school, so like you can't even, you know what I mean? You go on the road in a big time rivalry game, must win. It felt like, honestly, even though there's a lot of season left to be played, it's not a game you wanted to drop. And you know, when your defense, I mentioned it, when your defense holds them to 24 points and wins the turnover battle. If you would have told me on Friday that that LSU won the turnover battle and only held them to 24 and held them to
and Ole Miss had like 100
points,
and something penalty yards on top of that. Yeah,
exactly.
No, you think you win that game.
I think LSU wins the football game. But
yeah, no, I mean, look, you know, like Jay said, everything went wrong offensively. Couldn't run the ball, 50 whatever. It's so like I am at a loss for words as for
you were there.
Yeah, I was working the game, and like after at the post game, I struggled to focus on what went wrong in everything that I did because it was everything. It was Nussmeier what's going on with him. He's hurt. Like, he is hurt bad. You brought it up, Jay, after the Florida game. Like, something wasn't right. Something got worse in Oxford over the weekend.
Yeah.
The passing games, Elaine, they kept going to that well. They said, they saw Nussmeier, how he was in the second quarter, and they just kept going to him. It was a disastrous second quarter. I forget what the play differential. They're out there for like 50 plays.
Yeah, well, they're out there on the defense is out there for like 40 minutes of the 60-minute ball game.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you expected?
And they don't adjust.
Yeah,
There's no
adjust,
situational awareness. There's no setting up to try and make Nussmeier, who clearly needs some help right now, have third and manageable. They went 2 for 11 on third down from 8.1 yards out. That's the average down and distance on third down. Like, what do you want them to do?
You can't win a football game.
You can't win a football game like that. No matter what they do, no matter what their run defense looks like, no matter how many points you hold them, you're not winning a football game like that.
You can't.
And that's the starred and circled stat for me.
That's the gist, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm almost kind of like, how do I even begin to be upset when we played like this badly? Like
it's
in 2023, it was like, oh, we don't have a defense. But
well, no, it's literally
Saturday,
just the opposite.
It's the opposite.
It's literally just
We
the
don't have an
opposite.
But there were moments with the offense later in the game that like maybe inspired some hope. I'm not saying. I mean, I didn't think like by the time the 2-minute timeout hit, like I thought the game was over.
And we're gonna talk more about like the situational stuff in a second. Like just like you said, like your offense starts showing a little bit of life, showing a little bit of hope at the end, cutting it, to that lead, that 24-19 lead. And then you get LSU had opportunities to make a stop on third down,
there was 3
whatever.
possessions in the last quarter
Lots
of
of
the game.
opportunities, and just weren't able to get it done. And you know what? That's if you're on the field for 40 minutes, you're on the field for that long, and your offense isn't. You're getting turnovers, and your offense is only getting you 3 points. Gilly talked about it on the tailgate show. If you're getting 3 points, it's not winning you a football game. Yeah, especially on the road against a team like that. So, look, we talked about the keys to the game and last week, and one of those big ones that, was needing to find that run game. So we're going to go back to that run game. There was none of it. There was just none of it. You didn't even try to attempt until the second half. So do you think it's a coaching issue, a scheme issue, or even like the guys on the field? Like what is the root to this issue for the run game?
I think it's everything again. Like again, it's like pick whatever. I think Durham being hurt doesn't necessarily change things. Like Caden Durham was not the spark plug for this running game against Clemson and further in the. It's not him. It's scheming. It's still Joe Sloan. Just can't find a way to be creative with the run game. Look at what Alabama has been doing. That team can't run the ball between the tackles to save their life either. But they just beat Georgia because they're being innovated. It may not be your, what you'd standardly think of a run, even, to the outside, whatever. But they're finding ways to get their backs involved in the backfield and little swing outs and throwing it to, Proctor and having him like bowling ball down the field. They're being creative and not in like a motion Barry and Brown to the 9-yard line on a 2-point conversion and give it to him. You have to be able to run the ball. And they can't run the ball. They're a team from the state of Louisiana. That is shameful. And I just think it goes back to Sloan. And they can't figure out a way.
I think, I think at the end of the day, yes, it's a combination, but I think there's a root. And I think, those outside offensive linemen, especially Adams, is just struggling. Tyree Adams is he's struggling out there. And
bro, there was a rep Saturday, I think it was Deshaun Womack, where he just beat him, bro. I mean, just beat him, and I literally was like, yeah, we're losing this game. Yeah. Like I had to actually like just start laughing because like I didn't know what else to do, man.
And it's just especially when, like I said earlier, they're rushing 3 guys, and you're just not able to get any space. And also, if we're going to talk about schemes, this has been giving me issues all week. Why? If you're going to run the football, okay, why are you putting Garrett Nussmeier in shotgun?
Yeah. No.
Why are you putting him in shotgun running read option plays when everybody in this planet knows He's not
yeah.
keeping the ball.
No.
He's hitting
Especially
that
with
ball.
how he is right now.
It doesn't. He's not keeping that himself. And there were multitudes of times in the game where he rolls out and he has green grass and he doesn't take it. And we've seen that for the last 2 years, and it's never going to change. It looks like. And so, if you're going to run the ball, I'm all for it. Yes, run the football, but put the man under center and hand it off.
Yeah.
Like, give him your best option. Like, you don't need to waste all that time in the backfield with putting him in the shotgun formation. So I think, one, it's an offensive line issue, and that's clear. I just don't think this offensive line is very good at all. And I think Braylon Moore is fantastic in that center spot, but in my opinion, the center is the most replaceable spot on that offensive line, in my personal opinion.
And even then, he's like the Bugatti in the trailer park. Like,
right, yeah, and it's like you gotta, you know what I mean? You've got nobody on the outside that gives you any movement to push them, make those gaps, and get you an inside run or whatever. And then the schemes. So I think it's a scheme issue for some things. Don't get me wrong. Saturday was not Joe Sloan's fault.
No, not entirely his fault. He was I just think a cog in kind of a system.
We've been getting on him.
Systematic failure for LSU.
Yes, 100%. And there's been a lot of system issues with his schemes and with his play calling this season. But I think at the end of the day, you just got it. I just think LSU is a much more talented team than Ole Miss, and we just did not see it on Saturday, and we didn't even see a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
No run game, no rings, man. It's literally
simple.
that simple.
It's simple, man.
And I think for me, the root of like the lack of run game for me is it's pretty much always going to be the offensive line. Like, I get it, there are things you can scheme up, but at the end of the day, it's on the player to run the ball and first of all have somewhere to run. I can count on like one finger probably how many 10-yard runs I've seen throughout 4 or 5 weeks of football right now.
Yeah.
That's shameful.
The only one I can think of is that Durham run where they had to like stack in the power I against Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
did you not see the last play of the game? Like, yeah. Like,
we saw it. Yeah, it was
like, come on, man. Like, right. And even it took like them finally being innovative for a change for them. Oh, wait.
Them selling out for the run.
Happened.
Yeah. It's the only time it's worked. Yeah. I don't want to, because I don't know what happens on the inside, like the coaching element of it, like actually developing these guys.
Yeah, we only know so much.
There's got to be like something has to be up. With
I know what I'm looking at though.
Yeah. I know what I see.
Yeah,
and
we
what
have
I've seen for the
eyeballs.
last few years is this offensive line unit be bad, and then last year's offensive line unit, which had 4 guys drafted, not being able to develop the run. This is a continuation. It's a continued thing. You lose the A&M game because you couldn't develop the run last year, and it's continued into this year. So at
Something's
this point,
change,
yeah,
man.
it's got to be something that we're not seeing internally, or just your personnel needs to go to the shop, because it's just
Well,
I'm out of answers.
there were other issues on Saturday, despite not being able to have a run game. There were just some throws made by Nussmeier that you just would have thought would have been made, at least from what we saw last year. The throw to Chris Hilton, that's a touchdown 11 times out of 10 last year. Like,
that's literally the play against Baylor last year.
Literally, like, and he put it on a dime right in his breadbasket, and there is nothing, That's the Garrett Nussmeier everybody was expecting coming into the season. That was the Garrett Nussmeier who was a Heisman. He was the favorite, Heisman favorite at some point.
Him and Arch.
That was that was the Nussmeier we were looking for. That was the Nussmeier everybody was looking for, and that's not the Nussmeier you have. He's hurt, man. He really is hurt. He's hurt. You can't tell me otherwise. The throws he's making, there's no zip on the ball. He's lofting it, like all sorts of things.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, but just like he really is hurt. And so sadly, I have to ask this question. What would you do at quarterback moving forward?
I think, first of all, even beyond him being hurt, we knew he was hurt. Something got worse in Oxford because, you can talk about Southeastern. Whoever is on the other side of the field does not impact his mechanics. And the mechanics he has had in the first 4 games that LSU played versus what we saw on Saturday, something is wrong. It is floaty. It is airy. You talked about that play to Hilton. You got to have that. You got to have that. It changed the entire complexion of the game.
11 times out of 10, you got to have it.
It's at that point, and I was talking with Gilly before we got on about Nuss and Michael Van Buren. Like, a 50% is what he said. 50% Nussmeier, not as good as a healthy Van Buren. And you got to have a conversation, I think, if Nuss can't throw the ball 30, 40 yards down the field, which he couldn't in Oxford, you got to have that conversation.
They're kind. Sorry to cut you off, but they're having that. They're kind of thinking it's like that Drew Brees injury that he had.
Yeah.
I was listening
the late career one.
Yeah, I was listening to the post game radio show after the game, and they were talking that it feels like when when Brees had that that rib injury. And you just kind of saw the way he was throwing the ball, the way he moved.
It's uncomfortable to watch him play quarterback right now.
And even if you're there at like, you say 50%, even if it's 80%, even if it's 75%, you're still going to have that impact from the wear and tear of your body. It's just one of them things, man. And so like, look, I'll give my spiel in a second.
Yeah.
What do you guys got to say?
I guess just real quick, I'll let Jay finish up. Like, it's small things like the Hilton underthrow that lose games.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you're not able to throw the ball downfield, first of all, I want to say, going into the bye, I'd shut him down. Like, I would shut him down for the entire off week, only watching film, like no physical activity. And if you get to a point where in prep, Wednesday, he's still not looking good, you got to have a serious conversation with him, with Van Buren, with the rest of the coaching staff as to who you go to. Mm-hmm. Because a Garrett Nussmeier that looks like Garrett Nussmeier did in Oxford on Saturday down the stretch run, LSU is going to lose a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's
and that's what scares me, because he's not helping the team.
No,
I can't think of one thing good that Garrett did on Saturday.
Well, and even on the interception, like, it's just like, where are you throwing?
Yeah, that was a bad read.
What's your read?
Yeah,
exactly.
And that wasn't his issue going into this game. He was like I talked about in the last podcast, he was making the right reads. Like I was looking at breakdowns. I was watching video. There was a whole 40-minute breakdown breaking down the Florida game and the Clemson game, and it's just he's making the right reads. He was, if there wasn't a guy open, he wasn't like double coverage. Right. If he didn't think he could make that ball, okay, I'll just check it down.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so people were a little bit like, why is he being complacent? And then he does that. And then he's making dumb reads. So I don't know, man. It's just.
See, I got a little happy when I saw that because I thought that meant like that he felt better. Like, oh, now I can like try to make these crazy types of throws that I usually try to make.
You had so many guys. Like, we saw so many opportunities on the deep ball.
I think we figured, because you asked last week in the pod, when do we see that go ball? I think we got our answer as to why we haven't been seeing it. He just can't do it. Yeah. He can't deliver it.
It's so okay. My thing is like, I think if you have a 75% Nussmeier, as much as it hurts me to say it, if he's healthy enough to play in the football game, he's going to play in the football game. And the reason...
Oh, he absolutely... I mean, he's got the 18 for a reason.
He's gonna. And he's gonna. And we're going to see him if he's healthy enough to play in the game. My prediction is that he's not going to be healthy. My prediction, this is a prediction, is that we are going to see something soon saying that Nussmeier is probably not going to be playing football. And I just have this weird feeling that he is actually this hurt. Obviously we won't know anything for the future and for a while, but I just think that he's genuinely not healthy enough to play football. And something needs to be looked at. So.
He refused to comment on it. And I know there's like standard kind of like, all's good, like I'm good,
I don't know.
But he was like, I'm not talking about my health right now.
Yeah.
And that is ominous. I think if he doesn't play, it means a doctor said that he can't play.
100%.
Because, you give him the 18, you give him the C for a reason. That guy will want to play. 100%. I don't think he should. Like, there's situations where he technically can play that I don't think he should. But
I think if he's healthy enough to play and a doctor's not telling him not to play, he should play in the football game. Keep Van Buren on the bench. Keep his red shirt available.
Sure.
Have him for the next few years. You got to think about the future because at the end of the day, like right now, I genuinely think, and we're going to talk about this later. I think this is still a 2-3 loss team. I think I think there's a chance for you to make it into the playoff with the roster that you have right now. Obviously, you're going into a gauntlet here pretty soon, but I just think that if your guys are available, if Nuss is even 60%, I say he plays.
So I just want to open a question to the floor here. You say if a doctor says he's good to play next week, and you knew going into that game that he's going to give you second, third quarter Garrett Nussmeier on Saturday from in Oxford, would you take that, or would you put Van Buren in? Because that is.
I mean, but that's a hypothetical. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's a hypothetical question. I mean, because you don't really know what you're.
It's all hypothetical.
Yeah, but I mean, where we're operating right now, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't.
It's tough. It's really tough.
It's tough. It's just. I just think yes, Van Buren is a great player. Do I think you should have pulled him in the fourth quarter of that football game, like I was seeing on Twitter? Absolutely not, in my opinion. Absolutely not. You ride with the guys that you brought in there with, and I don't really think that Van Buren would have changed the game in that entire way. I will say, if you bring Van Buren in the game, you can do that shotgun package. you can do that read option stuff if you really want to.
I mean, I feel like the discourse to bench. Sorry, I stepped on your toes there, but the discourse to put in Van Buren in that game came right before the second touchdown drive. That's when I saw it the most, third quarter.
Yeah.
And then, Diggs scores that touchdown.
It's also LSU fans, man.
These are the
that's
same Twitter.
They were calling for.
Don't even get me started.
These are the same people that were calling for Nuss to start over Jayden Daniels, man.
No, it's
everything they say just take with a grain of salt.
I'm not saying that it was a serious kind of thing, but
because I saw that too.
I'm doing live tweets, you see stuff, and that kind of line of questioning came in on the Logan Diggs touchdown drive, and then they come and score a touchdown.
No, I get what you're saying because I went to war for that man Jayden Daniels after he lost week 1 for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know why I needed to
I will say I appreciate Ole Miss, and speaking of Jayden Daniels, not to get too off topic, them using that one clip of Jayden Daniels just losing all of his coins in the game in 2023, him getting ragdolled. That is, that game, I hate that game. It's such a sore subject for me. Yeah, but that clip is hilarious. It brightens my day every time I see it.
It is, man. But as far as where do we go from here? I don't know. I'm always on the side of protecting players when it comes to conversations like this, and I just feel like with a guy who has the potential
to be
that Garrett has, I just think you'd be doing a disservice to him if you you have to protect players from themselves sometimes too. Yes, he has 18, and yes, you can bet your last dollar that if Garrett always feels like he can play.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
that's
doubt
the thing.
That. And I just feel like there comes a point where you have to step in as a coach, as somebody who supposedly genuinely cares about this guy. Post LSU, he's gonna have a career post LSU as well, and I just don't think that Garrett is in the best position physically to lead this football team to where the fans, this coaching staff, and everyone else on board envisions this team going. You just said you still think this team can be a 2-3 loss team. If Garrett's playing like this, I just don't see how. Yeah. And because for us to be a 2-3 loss team at this point, Garrett has to just play much better. Mm-hmm. And I don't see a way that he's going to magically start playing better if he's not healthy. So we don't have any more. Okay, we got this bye week, but outside of that, we don't have any more just easy cupcake games for him to sit on the sidelines and ice up. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think that's the importance of evaluating where he's at after the bye week. you have South Carolina coming up. Like 2 weeks from now, South Carolina, we'll see where he's at. But after that, I mean, you're gonna have a ranked challenge on the road against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and we're
And then like morbid timing for that to happen. But then you gotta play A&M, you gotta play Alabama. If he's not good after, into the South Carolina game and you play him and he gets rattled even more, you sure as hell can't rest him against Vandy, let alone A&M or Alabama.
Right.
And so it's now or never kind of thing for getting us that rest. Like you said, there's no more, Southeasterns on the schedule. Like it's got to be this little period. Take the best advantage of it.
I agree, man.
But it's such a fluid situation.
Well, while we're on that topic, let's look down the road. LSU has a bye week coming up, and then South Carolina at home. Vandy on the road, be a ranked matchup, hopefully. A&M at home, ranked matchup, hopefully. Bye week, Bama on the road, ranked matchup, hopefully. And then Arkansas at home, Western Kentucky, and then Oklahoma on the road, ranked matchup, hopefully. So, realistically, with all things considered, what is the final record for this team? And, what does it look like for LSU to kind of get to a playoff? You kind of mentioned if Garrett Nussmeier is not playing to, expectation, and if he keeps playing the way he is, there's not a way, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But, let's just, what needs to happen for LSU to make it to a playoff? And then, what's your guys' record prediction?
Well, we need to get Garrett a soldier serum for one, because this injury, it looks and sounds pretty serious because we haven't really seen much progression. And
No.
I just don't see how he's going to be able to just get healthy. Like, you only have so much time to fix this thing, man. And time, I wish we could just pause time and just wait for Garrett to be healthy and come back out there 100%. But look, I think you get Garrett, and I know they are, but get him the best doctors, the best physicians, nutritionists, get a hyperbaric chamber, an oxygen chamber this week, and you you just
Get
shut
on the
him
Big Ben
down,
stuff,
bro.
yeah.
Like, don't even go to class. I'm dead serious. Don't go to class. Like, he needs 24/7 bed rest care, man. Like, get him the
Full
best.
body cast. Yeah.
Exactly, man. Like,
Yeah.
I just
Don't send him to New Orleans.
definitely not, man. Like, don't just stay put, Garrett. Watch film.
Mm-hmm.
And then, evaluate him in a couple of days and see where he's at, see how he's feeling. And then I think you try him out, South Carolina. But as far as record prediction, man, I could easily see this season flipping into an 8-4 year.
Yeah.
Again, bro.
Yeah. I think here's the good news, right? It's all in front of you. You're a one-loss team in the SEC. They just lost against, now the fourth best team in the country on the road. That's completely understandable if you're the committee. A 2-loss LSU can make the national, or not
100%.
They can make the playoffs, absolutely.
Yes.
It is absolutely vital. You take care of that home slate. You got to win all of those games. Western Kentucky, I mean, no question, obviously, but you got to take care of A&M. You got to take care of Arkansas.
On the road, care of South Carolina
and South Carolina. Sorry, not to overlook them, not to give them any bulletin board material. But the road slate. Obviously, it's comical that Vandy gets good right before LSU has to face them on the road. But they can't overlook that game. You talk about that 1-0 mentality. You got to look at that game with that, and then your other two road games, you got to flip one against Alabama and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's looked really good this year.
Look, man, you got to be. You mentioned you got to be worried about every game like that 1-0 mentality.
You need to have that in.
If it wasn't engraved in your head before, you better get there because you know what I mean. Like you have South Carolina coming here in 2 weeks. You have to win that game, and you'd love from a fan standpoint to see them win that game, not necessarily handily,
but convincingly.
But convincing.
Yeah.
You have to win that game with a little bit of,
in like a latex style win,
right?
Where it's like 24-6 or something like that.
They can throw some punches here and there, but you got to punch back.
Yeah,
and you got to punch back harder than they did. And then you get Vandy, and Vandy is, they get They get a college game day this week with Bama coming to them, right?
No, they're going to Bama.
Or they're going to Bama. They get college game day. So you get that game, and right, that's a big momentum boost for whichever team.
Yeah.
You then go to Vanderbilt. Who knows what happens this weekend? But you go to Vanderbilt, and let's just say they haven't. Let's just say they lose to Bama, and then they, I don't know. Do they have a bye before us?
Let me check.
But whatever that is, you got to I'm nervous about that Vanderbilt game.
Yeah, they have a bye between Bama and LSU.
I'm very, very nervous about that Vanderbilt game, and there's a lot of reasons being, but they bring in kind of an offense that resembles Ole Miss in a way, where, yes, they don't necessarily have a bunch of dangerous receivers all over the place, but they have a quarterback who can throw,
the
who
guy
can
that's
run.
going to hold the rock every play.
They have a running back. Speaking of running backs, Quan Lacey is a future first-round
That guy
draft
is
pick.
insane.
He is actually the best running back in college football. In my opinion, it's not close. He is genuinely that run. He had two that were just like, oh my gosh, like just incredible runs. He is unbelievable. So I just think that you really hit it on the head. You have to win every game at home.
Yeah.
You can drop Bama or Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm viewing those Alabama and Oklahoma games as like flip games. Like you have to flip one of those games.
You got to win one of them.
If you lose at Alabama, no one's going to dock you. If Mateer and company stay hot in Norman.
But you got to win. Like if you lose to Bama,
you
got to
win that
Norman.
last game.
You got to win in Norman.
You have to.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I think like ceiling, one loss team is this team's ceiling still. Like the sky is the limit for this team.
As Michael Jordan would say, the ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof for this team. But looking ahead, they could lose all of their remaining road games. I don't think it's insane to say they lose at Vandy, and then
I don't think it's insane either.
You could drop the A&M game at home. And you're looking at a 5-loss LSU team.
There's a world.
The sky can fall in Baton Rouge real quick.
Yeah, there's a world.
It's great news that it's all in front of them. But man, you'd like to be in a better spot. And it's crazy to say that as a 1-loss team. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
man, it's insane. Like how quickly
the vibe changes.
Like
everything
has
changed.
And I think
in 72 hours.
I don't know if it should really change that much for me because I knew going into Ole Miss our offense wasn't that good. Like I knew it. I guess I didn't want to believe.
I think everyone kind of got like a false sense of hope after the Southeastern game. Like we put up 56 points, guys.
I was like, okay, we can put up points.
Don't forget don't remember that the coach for the other team.
This offense they are in trouble, man.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of sad how quickly things changed.
Look, man, in my opinion, there's two worlds. I think in one world you win out, you beat South Carolina, something changes over this bye week, you fix something, you beat South Carolina. Then you go to Vandy, you beat Vandy. Then A&M comes here and you get revenge from last year. There is a world that happens. There's two worlds. That happens and then
so one where everything goes accordingly, or as you would want.
I mean,
well, I don't think there's a world where this team wins out. I don't think that.
Okay.
I think there's a world this team goes 2 to 3 losses
from like here or just like
from here.
Season?
This team will finish with 2 or 3 losses. I think that's a world, or 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think it ranges from 2 to 5. Like. Genuinely.
There's so much game that I'm terrified about after South Carolina that we get like a Florida, A&M, Alabama type swing. That's what happened last year. It was all in front of them. They led the SEC and then dropped A&M, dropped Alabama, dropped Florida. Vandy could be your Florida this year. It could be.
The Gamecocks look good too. Man.
No, they look great. I don't want to sleep on them.
Yeah, they're like this past week they looked good and they dominated Kentucky, and Ole Miss struggled against Kentucky. Yeah. And so, in my opinion, it was pure domination, and it's just I don't know. It's just scary. One of them. Yeah. It's just one of them things where you got a lot to work on, But if you're an LSU fan, I wouldn't get too down in the dumps just yet. You're at the end of the day, you still are only a one-loss team. This time last year, you were not. Pretty sure we were a two-loss team.
I can't remember.
This time last year.
I think they were one loss. Yeah, they were one loss.
Two
or one?
Gilly. They were one loss. All right, Gilly's giving us the one. He was showing the peace sign for a second.
Okay.
But
one loss.
But different circumstances.
Different circumstances, obviously, the format. But at the end of the day, you just got to get the offense working. Because your defense is never going to be a problem unless you keep them on the field for 40 minutes. But I've had enough talking about this. Let's move on from the depressing topic, and let's move to MLB baseball. More something my speed. As playoffs are finally here. Yes, my Chicago White Sox are not, but 60 wins, that's better than last year. And we're going to give you a couple thoughts just on each of these wild card series, as well as our picks for this wild card round, and then give you a prediction for who we think is going to come out on top as World Series champs. So let's start off with the Detroit Tigers at the Cleveland Guardians. Of course, big storyline here. Tigers blowing one of the craziest division leads I've ever seen in my life, having a 99.9% chance to win the division as of September 13th, and then blowing it completely, losing 8 of their last 10, as well as losing 13 of their last 16, which lost them the division. They are in the wild card round, but they got to go to Cleveland instead of Cleveland coming to them.
Right.
What a run for Cleveland doing their thing to get in here. So who wins the best of 3, man?
I got Cleveland. Not the biggest baseball guy, but just hearing that, I know you want to go into the playoffs playing your best ball.
And they are
going to the playoffs losing 8 of your last 10, man.
Yeah.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster. I'm not sure where the disconnect happened for this team, but that sounds like you're gonna be sitting on the couch early this year.
I think Cleveland will win too. We saw a preview of the series last week. It was one of the biggest kind of climaxes of the regular season.
Yep.
Tariq Skubal started game 1 for that. Cleveland beat Tariq Skubal and clinched the tiebreak. That was Cleveland winning that series. I think we see that again. Like Jay said, it's. I'm not the biggest believer in momentum, and it's important. But
I think in baseball, it's one of the biggest things.
I'll talk about Texas in 2023. They sold the division down the stretch. They had to fly in from Seattle to Tampa and play baseball the next day for their season in the wild card series, and then they went on to win the World Series. So I think there are exceptions, but in a case like this where it has not just been an isolated bad week or a bad half month, it has been bad baseball since August.
I mean,
and it's just soul crushing for the Tigers, and I don't think they can.
Well, this is a team who had the best record in baseball after the All-Star break. This is a team that was the best team in baseball, was 1-2 pieces away from entering that trade deadline. They were looked at as one of those teams that could get to the World Series and be a title contender. Now it's not even in position. Once Skubal pitches, I think that's their best chance of getting one is with Skubal on the mound.
Yeah, he's going game 1, I think.
Yeah, I think Cleveland wins this. I think Cleveland wins in 3. I do think that Detroit gets 1, but I don't think they're going to have enough, and Cleveland will get this. So another AL wildcard series, which is another interesting one to me. Boston Red Sox at the New York Yankees. These two teams are separated by just 5 games, as these two rivals and fan bases are excited for this series. William Gilreath is excited for this series. So who wins the series, man? What's going to be the score in this best of 3?
Yanks take it 2-0. I think maybe
really
2-1. Actually, I'll give the Red Sox a game for one reason. I'll talk about it in a minute. New York's the better team on paper. 1 through 9 in the order. I think the rotation's marginally better. Bullpen's got some dudes there. At home, it's going to be baseball cinema though. Throughout, the Red Sox have had such a magical year this year. It's been one of the less documented stories in baseball. One of the stories that has been documented, Garrett Crochet, former White Sox, shout out Michael Poggi.
Just because every good White Sox just leaves in 3 years.
Fernando Tatis.
Yeah.
Not
all of them.
Garrett Crochet if he gives another insane outing that we know he's capable of, he can stifle the Yankees' bats and steal a game. And I'll talk about it later on. Like, in this series, taking a game, that's all you need to flip your season around. And so I would not be surprised if it's made interesting, if Boston even takes the series. But my folks are Yankees fans. I feel like I get kicked out the house. So I'll take New York.
Yeah, man, this is one of those.
You got a relation to like 8 teams in the league.
I know. It's crazy. Well, we got to have like a whole pod episode.
Do you have a team?
Yeah, I'm a Nats fan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately. So like
he's a Nats fan and a Mariners fan and a Yankees fan.
Shout out Ryan. Oh, well, I don't know if
I don't know if
I have
fans
a rooting.
the word, bro.
I have a rooting interest in
Spectator.
many teams. I have respect. That's a good way to put it.
Hey, you're up.
No, but I was just gonna say like these are series that would make like casual fans even tune in. This is like one of the biggest rivalries in baseball, and for that reason, I'll take the Yanks 2-1 just because I think the element of that rivalry and just that bad blood, like it's never gonna be black and white. It's never gonna be a perfect series.
Yeah,
but the best team is gonna win this one.
Well, Gilly's gonna hate me. Red Sox are gonna win this series. Red Sox win this one. I just think that like you talked about the storyline. This Red Sox team has been so good. And like, yes, just 5 games separate these two teams, but I just think that there's a little, bumps in the road for both squads. Yes, on paper, Yankees are better, but we've seen the issues that they have in the playoffs. We've seen the kind of choking that they do in October, and I think we're going to see it again. I honestly, I think the Red Sox could win this series in 2 games, but I think it goes 3. I think Red Sox win game 1, Yankees win game 2, and Red Sox win game 3. So we move on. Finally, we move
Penultimate.
on. NL National League, as we have the San Diego Padres at the Chicago Cubs for one of the more interesting series, in my opinion. Cubs team who needed the last 3 games of their season to really get hot before the playoffs, going up against the Padres team, another former White Sox, Dylan Cease, who is right there with them, winning 7 out of last 10. Who wins his best of 3?
So San Diego has become one of the most established teams, I feel like, in October. Not necessarily with overarching success, but just kind of being a part of the dance and making some noise. They've been there. Chicago was one of the best teams in baseball. Like they led the division as late as past the All-Star break, I'm pretty sure.
They had a little bumps in the road, but
Pete Crow Armstrong had that insane start. He went on a full Tim Anderson arc this year.
Hey, Tim Anderson was good for 4 years.
He went on the Tim Anderson career arc in a season.
In 30 games?
Yeah, it was insane. So that post, All-Star break slide and San Diego's playoff experience, I think that's going to lift them over, but it's going to be a thrilling series. I think it goes 3.
Tim Anderson has a batting title. I just want to let you know.
I mean, you could say that. I'm going to go with the Padres, man. Just that pedigree of being there. And I think they got to have a breakthrough at some point. And I think it'll start here. And, man.
Yeah, I got Chicago, as much as it pains me to say it. The Cubs they've just looked so good. The last few weeks, they just have bats all over the place. The pitching is kind of the only thing that worries me a little bit, how deep that bullpen is. But those bats have just been phenomenal. I think they win it in 3. I think this wild card round is just going to be
it's
crazy.
Gonna be amazing.
I think it's going to be must-see TV. So finally, really quickly, the Miracle Cincinnati Reds. Miracle is right. Wow, if you've been watching, holy moly, how did they get here?
The New York Mets. That's how.
The New York Mets travel to L.A.
Joy to see that.
take on the Dodgers. No one's expecting the Reds to take the series, obviously, but no one was expecting this team to make the playoffs. Oh my gosh, are you going to take the Reds?
I'm going to stick my neck out and take the Cincinnati Reds
Oh
to move
my
on
gosh,
to the NLDS.
he's going to take the Reds.
And I'll tell you why. Hunter Green.
You talk about on paper, so yeah, I'm ready to hear this.
Hunter Green on paper is having one of the quietest, best seasons in baseball this year, and he's finding his groove now. I think 2 starts ago he went complete game, maybe even a shutout. At most, it was 1 run allowed. The wild card series, he's going to get thrown game 1.
Yep.
I talked about it when we started this segment. you take game one, who knows what happens?
Right.
You can take game one, maybe get a hot start game two, see what happens, force them to get, you're like laughing at me, right? Force them to get in their arm barn a little bit. Game, it's all on the table after that. Mm-hmm. I think it's a crazy notion.
You have to win game one.
You have to win game one. I think they do win game one. And maybe I just like the underdog, and maybe I feel a little bit always hard pressed. I know Los Angeles is the reigning World Series champion, but they've always kind of had an era of they're going to bottle this somehow. And it aligns to make me want to take Cincinnati. I am insane.
Are you taking Cincinnati?
I am taking Cincinnati in 3 games. Yes.
In 3? Yeah. I just think there's too much money on this team. There's too much money on this Dodgers team. I even like
and yet they're
honestly,
here. That's my thing.
Honestly,
it's like they put all this money in and they're still here.
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying. Like
it's like you use that you use the same thing for the Yankees. Like it's like on paper. Mm-hmm. Like I'm taking the squad. Honestly,
yeah, but it doesn't fit my narrative here.
Yeah, so. I get you. On even if they lose game one, I think they win in 3.
Okay.
I just think that I think their 2, their 3, their 4, their 5 is better than
sure. I'm not gonna say you're wrong for picking that. Yeah. I just want to believe.
Yeah, for sure. You can believe. I got Dodgers in 2.
Yeah, I look, the Cinderella story is cute. It's a great feel good story for the non-believers and whatnot, man. But I just look, they're the reigning champs. Like you're supposed to make it out of the wild card, bro. You're supposed to make it out of that round. We could see some fireworks. We could see the Reds still a game and make things interesting. Make our group chat a whole lot more interesting for sure. But I think that the Dodgers are going to take care of business here, right. and yeah.
All right. Well, we will have more to talk about once the wild card is over. But real quick, way too early prediction: who's winning the World Series?
Last year's World Series got some groans from fans, smiles from TV execs when it was Yankees-Dodgers. Massive markets, been there before. I think that script gets flipped this year. I think fans are going to be really fans who love baseball are going to be really intrigued by the matchup. TV execs are going to try and put this series on TBS. Give me Mariners Brewers. I think Seattle's the hottest team in baseball right now. They won I don't even know. They've won 17 of 20 or something crazy like that to win the division. The rotation's the best in the league in my mind. You got Gilbert, you got Wu, you got Castillo finding form, you got all of these dudes. They're finding steam at the right time. Cal Raleigh, insane. And then Milwaukee's kind of more my vibes pick, but it's not really a vibes pick. They're the best team in baseball. How can you bet against that? They went on a crazy
modern day A's, man.
Yeah, modern day A's, man. Joey O and all that.
Modern day Moneyball.
They went on a run in mid-July where it just seemed like they couldn't lose a game. They've been in it for so many years now. Mm-hmm. I feel like every year since 2020, I might be wrong with this. They've been in it, but it's always been something weird that's disarmed them. There's that 1 year Devin Williams broke his hand and it ruined. This year, I just think it feels different. Bob Uecker, they're playing for him. But I think Seattle takes it. I think there's so much to prove. Seattle lost the Brewers. They used to be the Pilots. They moved to Milwaukee. There's a lot of narratives in that. They're trying to make the most of that division title, first one they've won since 2001. I think if Milwaukee can keep the ball on the ground, though, they can win the World Series. But I think Seattle's offensive firepower, their ability to it's a pitcher's playoff, I guess, is for lack of a better word. If you have good starting pitching, you can win a World Series, and I think that's too much. I think Seattle takes it in 6.
Yeah, I think my matchup is going to be Yankees and the Brewers. Shout out my boy Christian, man. He's a huge Brewers fan. I know he's going to be so happy to hear that. But unfortunately, I'm going to have the Yankees taking this one. I don't see him losing.
2 thumbs up from Gilly.
2 World Series in a row. I think they'll be able to avenge. Well, not quite avenge because it wouldn't be playing the Dodgers, but I think they'll be able to get some type of redemption, winning the World Series. So,
yeah. Well, we all have the Brewers, so that's something cool.
You know what? That's how I know they're not gonna make it.
Yeah,
we all have the Brewers.
First round exit.
But I got the Red Sox, man. I think it's going to be a Red Sox-Brewers World Series. And honestly, I think the Red Sox win it. I think we're going to see that story that you were talking about one of those underground stories that nobody's really mentioning. Dude, this Red Sox team is good. It's really good. They've been good all year, and their pitching's good, their hitting's good, their bench is good. They I don't know. I just think we're going to see in October a red October, not the one, not the one in the Philly, bank, not the one in the bank, but we're going to see a form of red October. But I will talk more about that once they get through New York.
Well, it's going to be really funny if they get bounced. I'm not
once
letting
they
you hear
get
the
through
end
New
of it.
York, I'm telling you, man, they're not getting bounced. I am
not
very,
lose,
very
Coach.
high
They
on
better
this.
not lose.
I'm very high on this Red Sox team. Very high. Well, hey, that's going to do it for us here today in the John Frisha podcast studio for another episode of the Hodges Huddle. Big thanks to Jay and Alex for joining me today, as well as William Gilreath on the Switcher doing production. Thank you guys for tuning in, joining. A fun little, good little conversation that we had.
A little heart to
but
heart.
yeah, we'll see you guys next week, man. I'm Michael Poggi, and this has been the Hodges Huddle.